Former LA County undersheriff found guilty for obstructing a federal investigation of inmate abuse at the downtown jail.
City Council put out a new ordinance that restricts how much they can keep with them on the streets. Hear how the homeless react.
And country music legend Merle Haggard has died today at age 79 on his birthday.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
A guilty verdict for LA's former undersheriff puts an end to a dark period in the department's history. Good evening, I'm Suji Nam.
And I'm Scott Cook. Tonight, former undersheriff Paul Tanaka faces up to 15 years in federal prison. The former undersheriff was found guilty by a federal jury this morning on charges of conspiracy and obstruction of justice. Prosecutors said Tanaka led a secret campaign to hide an inmate at the men's central jail in 2011. The inmate was an FBI informant who was investigating allegations of abuse and misconduct in the county jails. The jury found Tanaka guilty on 2 counts, conspiracy and obstruction of justice. He headed an inmate abuse scandal that reached the top tier of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. He now faces up to 15 years in federal prison.
Let's be clear, the FBI was notified and got information about criminal activity happening in the jail, about prisoners being abused, and we, as the Department of Justice, have an ethical responsibility and a sworn duty to investigate those issues. There were public reports about problems in the jails. It was an issue of leadership. This could have been stopped at any point in time.
We've said for a long time, this is not something we take pride in or pleasure in. This is something that was necessary. This investigation was necessary to continue the integrity of this sheriff's department. This is the largest sheriff's department in the country.
It didn't take long for jurors to reach a guilty verdict, just a little over 90 minutes.
I try to poke holes into the Pandora's box timeline and the moving of the inmate and why would he do that, and it just wouldn't add up. So I had to come to the conclusion that, yeah, he was indeed guilty of both counts.
Jim McDonnell, the sheriff of Los Angeles, responded to the verdict today. He said, quote, "I, along with the hardworking men and women of the Sheriff's Department, fully accept and recognize that the justice system holds all of us in public service accountable for our actions. We look forward to closing this particularly troubling chapter." Tanaka's sentencing is scheduled for June the 20th.
The Los Angeles City Council unanimously signed off on a new law that limits the storage of belongings in public areas. Reporter Priscilla Casper shows us what this means for the homeless.
Kendrick Bailey says he has been homeless for 3.5 years and just got out of prison. He has many personal belongings.
He's probably gonna take this stuff because they say it's too much stuff to have. The police tell me this thing can't have flowers. It ain't. They say you're supposed to just have a tent and a blanket or two or something like that.
Under a revised ordinance unanimously passed today by the LA City Council, the city will impound unintended property and belongings greater than 60 gallons. A homeless advocate doesn't think this will help the problem.
This is an attempt to do something to help, but I don't really think that addresses the real issues that are causing homeless and keeping people homeless. We really think that the solutions need to be focused on more housing, more recovery programs, more solutions to ending homeless.
To give you a reference to how much 60 gallons is, this trash can beside me is about equivalent to that size. And as you can see, this is about the amount of space a person has to keep their belongings. Councilmember Curran Price Jr. says we need tools to clean the city and we need policies that motivate folks to accept services and take steps to getting off the street. According to a study done by the Weingart Center on Skid Row, last year, about 45,000 people were homeless in the LA County. This number is increasing by a couple thousand every year.
I think it's not fair to the people to be able to be limited to a tent. You know, where people have nowhere to go, have no housing, have no food and stuff, and they're struggling with, you know, what they have already.
The ordinance now goes to Mayor Garcetti for his signature. For Annenberg Media, I'm Priscilla Casper.
Ted Cruz had an upbeat message for his supporters today after winning the Wisconsin primary last night. He said this is a turning point in his battle against opponent Donald Trump.
He is Lion Ted. You know, I came up with the idea, but you have to spell it right. It's Lyin apostrophe, Lion Ted. The Bible held high. He puts it down and then he lies.
Tonight, Trump is in Long Island, New York, hosting a homecoming rally. A recent poll shows Trump leading in New York with 52% support, followed by Kasich with 25% and Cruz with 17%.
The day before yesterday, Donald Trump promised a, quote, big victory in Wisconsin. And not only did he not get a big victory, but the men and women of Wisconsin resoundingly rejected his campaign.
Currently has 743 delegates. Cruz follows second with 517 and Kasich has 143. There are 882 delegates up for grabs of the 1,237 total needed for the presidential nomination.
As a result of losing on Tuesday night in Wisconsin, it now looks almost impossible for Trump to secure the nomination before the Republican convention in Cleveland this summer. If he is going to get as many delegates as he needs to secure the nomination before Cleveland, it's going to happen here in the California primary on June 7th.
The next primary is in New York and will be held on April 19th.
The hashtag Women for Trump is getting a lot of traffic on Twitter. Annenberg Media's Walid El-Atrash spoke with some female supporters who explains why she thinks Donald Trump is the most qualified candidate.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
Donald Trump's remarks about women have turned some against him, while others seem to be rallying behind the presidential candidate. One Trump supporter has been actively promoting the hashtag Women for Trump on Twitter.
I've always sort of admired him. You know, he's very successful. He's very smart. I've read at least one of his books. But the key to me when he first announced was that he is self-funding.
Beth Still says the only reason Trump's comments have blown out of proportion is because of the media.
I am more concerned with getting this country back on track. He has the business acumen that we need.
According to the Wall Street Journal, around 50% of Republican women voters support Trump, but up to 70% of overall women do not agree with Trump's stance on women. And Hillary Clinton is estimated to have almost double the number of women supporters that Trump has. Trump supporters argue that the business mogul has done more for women than any other political figure by employing women in positions of power across his various businesses. Could this be the reason why the hashtag Women for Trump is trending?
I'm not sure that he's actually garnered backing as opposed to it's an effective campaign tactic after the loss in Wisconsin and the struggles and the backlash from him attacking Senator Cruz's wife. I think it's an effort that the campaign's trying to launch to make their support among women be more visible. According to Annenberg professor Gordon Stables, Trump is not known for being a policy conservative, so changing some of his policies might help him get more votes. For Annenberg Media, I'm Walid El-Atrash.
Well, Bernie Sanders is gaining momentum as he prepares for the Wyoming caucus this weekend. Today, Clinton had some tough words for her rival, even questioning whether the Vermont senator is a true Democrat.
Well, he himself has said that he never was. He never ran as a Democrat until he started running for president. But look, he's in the race, I'm in the race. It's not only critical to nominate someone who will win in November, but also to elect more Democrats.
Clinton leads with 1,748 delegates. Sanders has 1,058. There are still 1,959 delegates available. 2,283 are needed to win the nomination. Well, more than 500,000 Californians have already registered to vote online this year. More than one-third of those voters fall between the ages of 17 and 25 years old.
This current election season is so polarizing. It's attracting a lot of attention from both older voters and younger voters. So I think there will be an increase in younger voters this time around.
I think it's important for the younger generation to vote because it's our issues that are coming up. You know, if we continue to let the older generation surpass us in voting numbers, it's their issues that they're voting on.
It's important because being an active member of your kind of political landscape is really the only way to be a citizen, I guess.
The Secretary of State's office will soon release the number of voters who registered both online and on paper.
Country music giant Merle Haggard died today on his 79th birthday. He played for 6 decades and inspired many with his 38 #1 hits.
To say goodbye like all the rest.
At his home in Northern California after battling pneumonia for several months. He had an ambitious touring schedule and had to cancel a number of shows this year. His funeral is being planned for Saturday. From paint on canvas to spoken word poetry, art thrives in all different forms in Los Angeles. LA arts advocates joined city council members today to celebrate Arts Day. Reporter Maddie White joins us live in studio with the story. Maddie?
Thanks, Suji. The 4th annual Arts Day is not only a celebration of LA's artistic achievements, but also a platform for conversation about city-commissioned projects. I went to City Hall today to talk to the artists.
On napkins, on sidewalks, in pen, pencil, and chalk. Frida Kahlo's on hands and feet. Zigzag, tag, streaked on mirrors.
It's not every day you see a cello player and a poet in an LA City Council meeting.
Art is the imagination, and a society without imagination is doomed.
Today, the LA City Council proclaimed April 6th as Arts Day.
It helps explain the world better than anything else can, and it helps explain our place in the world. Politics can't do that for us. Nothing else really can.
Arts for LA advocates joined City Council member Mitch O'Farrell in celebrating the city's achievements in arts. As a professional dancer, O'Farrell's personal experience motivates his policymaking.
I can utilize that knowledge and experience and morph it into policy to help grow and elevate arts and culture in Los Angeles.
Arts for LA aims to deepen the city's investment in arts and culture centers in LA. There are currently 37 city-owned facilities, including theaters, galleries, and arts and culture centers. But advocates say many of these centers have yet to provide after-school community arts programs for young people.
It's critical that we have arts education from a very, very early age, all through childhood into adult life.
1 out of 6 jobs in the Los Angeles area is in the creative economy, so that really brings a big boost to our overall well-being as a city.
One visual artist says the council should commission more public murals.
With new techniques and new technologies, we can actually take paint off a mural that has been completely painted over and bring it back to life. Many of those are really iconic and important works.
City leaders hope that Arts Day will help distinguish LA's cultural and creative diversity.
That was Maddie White reporting. Former Laker player Jerry West is speaking to Annenberg students tonight. We will take you live to the class.
And health officials and tenants speak out to put an end to secondhand smoke in apartment units.
And find out what the popular show Scandal has to do with the commencement. We'll explain coming right up.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up 1 finger if you're a man, women 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
People people living in apartments may not know it, but they could be inhaling secondhand smoke from nearby units. The UCLA Center for Health Policy wants to help prevent that.
There's a momentum going towards SmokeFree Apartments, and there's popular support for it, as you can see from the data. LA City and LA County have gone smoke-free for their units, and so now it's just a matter of really raising the awareness about the health impacts. With great awareness, hopefully we'll have policy change.
Some tenants are backing the movement to ban smoking in apartments and feel the time for change has finally arrived.
They already do it for the restaurants, why not do it for your home? It's better this way. I really like it. I really appreciate it. It's better for the kids. It's better for everybody.
A UCLA study showed that the majority of Los Angeles residents support smoke-free apartments. However, 4 out of 5 apartments are not smoke-free.
A new bill before state lawmakers would require modeling agencies to be licensed with the State Labor Commission. The goal is to set health standards for fashion models. Agencies would have to follow workplace rules regarding sexual exploitation and eating disorders.
They're doing health tests and making sure that models are getting enough food, just so that they can survive and grow, and I think that's a good idea.
I really, really hope that it makes an impact. I really hope that there's more models that are inspired by that to come forward and talk about, what they've done or their journey or how they've overcome that pressure. So I hope that it encourages more discussion between models. This will be a good start, I hope.
Studies show that nearly 40% of models suffer from some sort of eating disorder. The bill is similar to those in France, Israel, and in Spain. Well, Glamour magazine took some heat this week for labeling actress Amy Schumer as a plus-size model in their special standalone issue, Chic at Any Size. The Hollywood star wasn't happy about it, so she called out the magazine on Instagram. She said there's nothing wrong with being plus-size, but she's upset that the magazine never asked her before featuring her on its issue. A Glamour spokesperson responded saying, "First off, we love Amy and our readers do too, which is why we featured her on the cover of Glamour last year. We believe her passionate and vocal message of body positivity is inspiring. The edition did not describe her as plus size, and we are sorry if it offended her in any way." Close quote. Well, Suji, today was a scorcher. I darn near sweated through my suit. What did you think?
Same. It was so hot today, but you know what? Let's toss it over to our weather anchor, Hannah Vega, for more. Hannah?
Thanks, guys. Today was scorching. I hope you guys out at home got to enjoy some outside activities. As for right now, we have fair skies at 71 degrees and 73% humid. If you want to plan ahead for tomorrow, you'll see that it's going to probably be too warm to ski in Big Bear. It's going to be 53 degrees there. Palm Springs will be really nice at 88 degrees. Want to go to the beach? Well, Malibu's going to be breezy, 66 degrees. The rest of the valley, 70 degrees. If you have class, it's going to be nice around USC. It's going to be 68 degrees, 67 over at the airport. Looking ahead to our 5-day forecast, you're going to see it's going to cool down. We're expecting rain over the next few days, and it's going to be about 67 degrees on Saturday, and showers, they're going to happen. So if you want to find out where I'm going to be hanging out this weekend, you don't have to go very far.
You've probably noticed these white tents around campus. This weekend is the annual Los Angeles Times Festival of Books. Some of the most notable writers in the world will be on campus holding panels and signing books. The festival is free, but some events require reservation or purchase tickets.
The worst part of the festival is deciding what events to attend.
On Saturday, you can go to the main stage to see host Padma Lakshmi. She'll be on at 1:20, actor Rainn Wilson at 2:30, and astronaut Buzz Aldrin at 3:40. California Senator Barbara Boxer will also be featured on Saturday at 1 p.m. Her event is at the campus center. And on Sunday, Ariana Huffington, founder of the Huffington Post, will be interviewed in Bovard at 3 p.m. Tickets for that event start at $30.
I've been to the festival in past years where I got to see people like Maria Shriver, and I even got to meet Chef Giada De Laurentiis. And don't worry, there are events and activities for all interests and ages. So, do you guys want to join me this weekend at the book festival?
Yep, sounds good.
I think that'd be great. I was curious as to what those tents were, so I'm glad you explained it for us, Hannah. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Annenberg students who are stressed about life after USC will be getting some tips from the world's most famous crisis managers at this year's commencement ceremony. Judy Smith is the inspiration for ABC's political thriller Scandal. When celebrities, politicians, or corporations are in trouble, she comes to the rescue. Her influence in the world reaches far beyond our TV screens. The crisis management expert has served alongside President George H.W. Bush and was a consultant for President Bill Clinton. She has written and published a crisis management book titled Good Self, Bad Self. There are only 36 days until graduation when students will hear Smith speak, grab their diploma, and head out into the real world. Scott, I heard the logo's on campus tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Suji. And what Jerry West is to the NBA, Jody Sullivan is to our broadcast. Let's send it over to the face of ATVN Sports. Jody, what's going on?
You guys are so full of compliments. Thanks. But before we can talk about Mr. Clutch, we'll take a look at men's volleyball as they look to close their season with a win. And we'll head out to the courts to check out my spotlight for the week.
I'm here in Annenberg Auditorium where Jerry West is about to speak to a class of USC students. We'll have more on that coming up in sports.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Welcome back to ATBN. Jerry West is speaking to a journalism class in Annenberg Auditorium tonight. Annenberg Media's Rachel Cohn is in that class now. Rachel?
Thanks, Jody. I'm here in the Annenberg Auditorium for Jeff Fellinser's Sports Business and Media in Today's Society class, where Lakers legend Jerry West is about to come on stage and speak. As you can hear behind me, the students are applauding as Jerry West takes the stage. He's walking up there now to speak to this class of students about his experience. Now, Jerry West is a Lakers legend. He is one of the men responsible for bringing Kobe Bryant to the Lakers 20 years ago. We had a chance to talk to him about that earlier today, right before he came to speak to this class. He talked about how rare it is to find a player like Kobe, how they're all not built like that. Now, West is here speaking to this class about his experience with the Lakers, his experience as a player as well, and also what he's done in front offices since then. If you want to hear more about the interview with Kobe and how the Lakers can improve in the future, go check out our Facebook page at USC Annenberg Media. That's all we have. Back to you, Jody. I'm Rachel Cohn in the Annenberg Auditorium.
Moving on to the court, the USC men's volleyball team finishes up their season with a trip to face #1 BYU to close out the week.
A chance to educate them on what it takes to go on that trip, play at high altitude in that environment, which it's hostile in so much that it's an extremely favorable BYU crowd.
That environment into perspective, BYU averages 4,000 fans at home matches, while USC only averages 400 fans. The Trojans will try to snag a match from the nation's top team and end their season on a high note. The number 24 USC women's tennis team hosts number 66 Arizona and number 26 ASU Friday and Saturday. It'll be the Women of Troy's televised Pac-12 debut against the Wildcats.
I think everyone's playing really well right now. We're on a little streak, a winning streak, and I think everything's just coming together right now.
These matches are really important. They all are toward the end of the year, but we're still undefeated in the conference.
7-match win streak. And they'll put that undefeated 5-0 conference record on the line against the Arizona schools this weekend. And this week, we're going to stay on the tennis courts to shine the spotlight on senior Giuliana Almost. Almost is currently the highest ranked singles player on the team at number 22 in the country. She's on a 7-match win streak from the number 1 spot. In doubles, she plays with sophomore Gabby Smith. Together, they play in the number 1 spot for USC and are ranked number 8 in the country. Head coach Richard Gallion provides a little insight on the impact Almost has on the team.
She's the best player on our team, and that does a lot right there, but she's also the hardest worker. And when your best player is the hardest worker, that sets a very good tone for everybody else. And she's done it. This is her 5th year. She's been playing tennis tournaments since she's 7 years old. So it's a remarkable story. And
Almost will look to lead her team as the women of Troy take on the teams from the desert at Marks Stadium.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, I always love to see our seniors doing well. Nice for them to finish their careers on a good note.
Thank you, Jody.
Definitely, of course.
Now moving forward, some walk the walk, and others, well, they might get stopped.
Find out why pedestrians need to watch out on National Walking Day.
The earthquakes you see in movies are one thing, but real life is a completely different animal. Just because you can't predict an earthquake doesn't mean that you can't prepare for one. In the event of a real earthquake, you should drop, cover, and hold on. Visit ready.gov/earthquake and practice what to do to keep you and your family safe in the event of a real earthquake. And you'll be seen as a hero by your family and your loved ones.
Visit ready.gov/earthquake today.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
What's up? What's happening today?
Let's do those pearly whites, man.
Yeah. The boys, check it out. Stand up, do my chairs, go compare us.
Ooh, cute. Are you good to try it?
I'm fine. Hey girl, what's up? What's the name? What's good? What's up?
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir.
See ya, buddy. Today Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Hey, watch where you're going. It's National Walking Day, and if you don't look up, you just might trip over our very own Robbie Colans.
All right, guys, I'm sure you've seen on social media, it's National Walking Day. But on USC's campus, it sort of seems like National Walk in Text Day. Let's put a stop to this.
Oh my goodness, I love Robbie.
Did he just propose to that one girl?
I think he just did.
Like.
I think he just did.
He's got some explaining to do when he gets back.
Oh, Robbie. Well, anyways, thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Suji Nam.
And I'm Scott Cook. We'll be back same time, same place next week. And if you can't wait until then, you can catch us anytime on the World Wide Web at uscannenbergmedia.com. So long.